Welcome back, True Seeker. February 26th, 2018. In the news today, the death of Bill Cosby's daughter from what is being reported as renal disease. I've looked through about 10 articles, and not a single one has listed her date of death. Wikipedia doesn't have her date of death up. I'm actually thinking the reason her date of death isn't up is because of the work that's being done on this channel, exposing how these people are being murdered as ritual sacrifices. And in case you're new here, we talk about the code of letters and numbers known as gematria. There's a song out there called Gematria, the Killing Name. There's another song out there called Murder by Numbers, how it's as easy to kill people as A, B, C, 1, 2, 3. Using the alphabetic order, K's the 11th letter, I's the ninth, L's the 12th, L's the 12th. 11 plus 9 plus 12 is 44. This number, always around ritual killing. And using the alphabetic order, but using the rules of numerology for each letter, E's the 5th letter, X is the 24th letter. Notice E is 5, but X is worth 6 because the 24th letter is 2 plus 4 is 6. You make each letter a single digit, you add the word execution, 44. There's another cipher that's a complement to the alphabetic orders known as septenary. Some people call this vortex math. This cipher, African American sums to 44. And think about the first black president, Barack Obama, number 44. He ran on hope, which in the alphabetic order, H is the 8th letter, O is the 15th, P is the 16th, E is the 5th. Added together, hope equals 44. One of the first things I discovered when I was learning about gematria in 2013. For whatever reason, it was one of the first things I looked at. 4-letter word, sums to 44, 44th president, who ran on it once again. In black history, you had the 3 running backs at Syracuse that were the 3 best running backs in the nation while they were there. You had Jim Brown, the last player to win a Super Bowl with the Cleveland Browns, who wore number 44. Then you had Ernie Davis. They made a movie about him. Ernie Davis murdered by the numbers. See my video on Ernie Davis's murder. And then after that, you had Floyd Little, all who wore number 44 at Syracuse, and not arbitrarily. You learn this code, you see how many players in sports are wearing a number that's symbolic of their name gematria. It's a lot, because this code's important to Masonry. Masonry controls the media, the world of sports, your government, a lot of things in this world. Music, why we got these songs about this. Hey, there's even movies named Murder by Numbers, and the same Masons run that industry too. This is the second child Bill Cosby's lost while alive. His first was his son Ennis Cosby. Look at Ennis Cosby's name, 44. He died January 16th, 97, more than 20 years ago. Also murdered. While they haven't put out her date of death, they have given us her birthday, April 8th, 1973. Remember, sacrifice equals 73 with the alphabetic order. Ritual sacrifice, 73 with the reduced method. But from today's news to her upcoming birthdays, a span of 42 days, also 1 month, 14 days. Cosby showed the small way 42, the big way 114. What are the odds? We get it this amount of days from her birthday. The name Huxtable also has that gematria 42. By the way, Cosby show 42, 114, using the same rules, but when you flip the alphabetic order around. These are our 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order forwards, backwards, plus the rules of numerology. Knowing these things reveals almost all. This news also comes on a date with numerology of 46. 46. Consider this also comes at the end of Black History Month. February equals 42. Number stamped all over Black History. Jackie equals 42. We just saw on Jackie Robinson's most recent birthday, January 31st, the death of 3 black celebrities, all with name gematria of 42. Worst of all, the baseball player Oscar Gamble, who was one of those deaths, died 42 days after his own birthday on Jackie Robinson's birthday. The N-word has gematria of 42. Since she died in Massachusetts, they bring up the death of Bill Cosby's son Ennis. Ennis Cosby, the day he died, let's see, where'd I put it? When he died in 97, Bill Cosby wasn't quite 60 years old. He was 59. Remember, Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. The word Negro, the word slave, the word blues, all using the alphabetic order summed to 59. And the date he died was a date with numerology of 114, like Cosby's show. Also 97, the word death has gematria of 97. If you count the S's with the exceptions, S is that special letter, it's the 19th. 1 plus 9 is 10, 1 plus 0 is 1. It's the only letter you have to add together twice to get to a single digit, so S can be 10 or 1. When you make S 10, the name equals 62, another number that corresponds with the gematria of sacrifice. Notice the story about his son. Let's just read it. On January 16th, 1997, Ennis Cosby was killed near Interstate 405 in Los Angeles, California. Cosby, the son of comedian Bill Cosby, was shot in the head by 18-year-old Mikhail Markasov in a failed robbery attempt. Look at the initials on this man. M. M's the 13th letter in numerology. 13 is 1 plus 3 equals 4. 4. Reminds how Malcolm X was killed on a date with 44 numerology. His assassin's name was Thomas Hagen, which equals 44. He got 44 years in prison. Reminds also how Martin Luther King Jr. was killed on 4-4. You know, these famous African-American leaders killed on dates with 44 connections. And it's more than just them that have been killed by this number. And also keep in mind, the term African-American is a stupid term. It's a programmed term. Most Americans use it without even thinking about it. They just call any black person an African-American. They can meet an African person with the heaviest African accent who just 5 seconds ago told them they were from Africa, and the white person in America will go back, "How do you like being an African-American?" Not realizing they're not an African-American, they're an African, you know. Nobody calls white people European Americans. Understand, all of these terms were contrived for a reason. African American equals 44 like kill. We talked about how Negro equals 59 and Jewish gematria kill equals 59. Think about how Belgian Congo equals 59, and they say AIDS was discovered in the Belgian Congo in 59. Also, with regards to his son's death, it came a span of 137 days before his birthday, and in case you're new here, when we do gematria, we normally just use the base ciphers. If you go to the calculator, the base ciphers pop up. These are your base ciphers. What's interesting is if you look at the other ciphers, there's always some ones that are important. The Kabbalah-related ciphers are always interesting. Notice Bill Cosby's birthday is July 12th, 12/7. Scottish Rite of Freemasonry has that gematria of 127. Notice Cosby showing septenary is also 33. And 137 is the 33rd prime. That's the same cipher that African American is 44 in. And there's just so many important things if you look at these other ciphers. Like Carter G. Woodson, the name of the man who's credited with Black History Month, sums to 59 in Chaldean, just like Black History Month is 59 in Chaldean, and Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. You know, there's a whole lot more to it. Look at the 213 in the KFW Kabbalah, just like the alphabetic order. Another number stamped all over Black history. You know, they just came out with the movie Black Panther, 213 in the reverse in this month. And again, Black Panther 666 in Sumerian. They came out with it on February 16th. 6 times 6 times 6 equals 216, like February 16th, 2/16. That's the 47th day of the year using the alphabetic order. Beast is 47. Number of the beast, 666. So anyway, you know, learn the code, learn it in the base ciphers, but then even beyond the base ciphers, some of those other ciphers are very important and often factored in to what's presented in the very numerological media. Just watch when they put out her birthday or the date of death, measure from the birthday. If she died yesterday, if she died 2 days ago, it was a span of 44 days from her birthday. If she died 3 days ago, you could say it was 44 days before her birthday. I wouldn't be surprised if it was one of those days she died at age 44. She wouldn't be the first person to die at this age, 44 days from her birthday, in the ritual of murder by numbers. Book's coming out soon, Truth Seeker. In the book, it's a book within a book, the chapter on murder by numbers. It's closer to 200 pages than it is 100, just that chapter. And it is the longest chapter by far because I think the murder by numbers rituals, they're just so undeniable. I've covered every death that I think everyone will think of, plus way more. If there's any I forgot, I can always come out with a later updated version of the book and plug in those important deaths that might have fell through the cracks. But pretty much every celebrity in history you've heard about dying prematurely has died by this code and this familiar set of numbers. It really is sick when you see it in its totality. All right, until next time, True Sick.